Here's my audience. Hi, my name is Madison Lader, and today I'm going to be informing you on fishing techniques you can use. Some techniques I'm going to be talking about is how to catch fish smartly and how to release fish safely so you don't harm the fish or yourself. The first species I'm going to be talking about is bass. You can fish bass from a boat or a kayak, from the bank, or from a floating device such as an inner tube. The lure you would like to use would be a jig. Using a jig lure, you can catch in 40 to 90 degree weather, and you can fish from ponds with rocks, wood, and grassy areas. The bait you would want to use, or is most popular with bass, is an artificial bait. And the point of an artificial bait is to use the visual side of it and not the smell of the actual bait. And using an artificial bait, fishermen can control the movement of this bait. The second species I'm going to be talking about is the catfish. When you catfish, you can also fish from boats or kayaks, or from the bank, or from a floating device such as an inner tube. Catfish usually are fished from the bottom of the lake or pond. So the best spots to find catfish are ponds with muddy areas, flooded areas, with deep holes or drop-offs. And the bait you would like to use with catfish are live bait or a dead stink bait. You'd usually like to fish catfish during the dark. This is the most effective time to fish for catfish. This forces the catfish to use its sense of smell and not its sense of sight. Many fishermen like to use a sinker to help the bait fall to the bottom of the lake or pond, so it would be more effective to catch the catfish. The next big topic I'm going to be talking about is a proper way to release your fish. You would like to have your hands wet. You do not want to touch the fish for long, and you want to make sure that it is breathing good before you release it back into the water. Next point would be the line size, and yes, it does matter. The smaller line you get means you can fish without the fish seeing your line, but the con to this is that it could break, and you do not want it breaking if you have a fish on your line. It does depend on the fish. If you were fishing for bass, you would want to use a 10 to 12 pound line, and that is the most popular line to use for bass fishing. And then when you are catfishing, you'd want to use a 20 pound or plus line. Another big topic to talk about is when you're fishing in public waters. When you are fishing in public waters, there are a lot of rules and regulations you need to follow. If you are 16 and over, you need a permit to fish in public waters. with certain lakes, there are certain regulations, so make sure you look those up before you go fishing there. And you would want to pay attention to the number and sizes of fish you can keep. And another topic would be about if you're fishing in private ponds. You would also make sure you have permission to fish on that private pond. And another point to think about is leave the place as you found it, meaning don't leave trash around the private pond even when they gave you permission to fish there. You have to take care of their property and your property. And thank the owner for letting you fish in their pond. The owner might also have his own rules and regulations, so make sure you ask the owner before you go out and fish their pond. I hope these tips have helped you think more about fishing and the techniques you could use, and thank you for listening.